Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you would join me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe as we continue to work towards those 3,000 subs. Much appreciated. It's been a very interesting weekend since the last time I spoke to you on Friday. So many topics that I wanted to discuss. I'm going to try to start light and get a little heavy because I think that, sometimes when you just drug people over the head with reality or with your thoughts on reality, sometimes it can be a little bit off-putting. So let me just say this in a lighthearted way. We've seen enough of the Pro Bowl, right? We don't need to see that anymore. And it really is a shame because a sport, or a contest that used to be our opportunity to see the best of the best on the field competing has become like a glorified 7-on-7. And my thing is, why not just make it a 7-on-7? Like, why not turn it into something spectacle and stop acting as if we're calling it football? Because what I saw yesterday in the times that I saw it, because I couldn't watch it, it was so unwatchable. That's not football. The highlights look like a joke. Literally, the highlights. These are the best parts of that show, of the Pro Bowl, look like a joke. Sorry, I'm just not here for it. That's not my Pro Bowl. That's not the Pro Bowl that I grew up with. That's not the Pro Bowl that I came to love. I knew that, people took it easy. Nobody was trying to destroy people other than Sean Taylor. Like, nobody was trying to do anything crazy, but they were still playing some level of football. What this turned into, this was not football. At least not any football that I'm interested in watching. And apparently other people aren't interested in watching, even though if you guys are tweeting about it, if you're talking about it, if we're all out here still railing about it, did it do the job that it was meant to do? Remember, in this world that we live in of social media, any press is good press, right? So if any press is good press, is the NFL okay with the fact that we all hate this Pro Bowl? Are they good with the fact that this Pro Bowl, in our opinion, as the consumers, sucked? Are they okay with it because we're still watching? Now, again, I ain't watched much of it. I caught clips. I caught snippets. But, maybe somebody was watching. And if they were watching, I mean, what are you showing them? Right? If they're watching, then what are you giving them? Giving them nothing for their money. Because that's not football. Change it up, man. You know what you do? Because you got 3 quarterbacks on each side and you got all of these, turn it into a 7-on-7. Have a lineman challenge. Turn it into a 7-on-7. Have a lineman challenge. Make it like 6 different teams. Do it and put it into a tournament. Do something, because what we're watching, it's unbearable. It's not football. And not only is it not football, but it's disrespectful, man. And you know what? The crazy part about it is that the players are 100% okay with this. Why? Because they don't want to get hurt. And even though I can understand why they don't want to get hurt, I can understand why they're taking it easy. Even though that's the case, it doesn't mean that I want to watch this. This is bad. Football. I can't even keep railing on it because if I keep talking about it, I get more and more upset. It's just bad. You know what else is bad? The Senior Bowl. And it wasn't bad because of the game, because the Senior Bowl is always, the game's always kind of ho-hum. You're trying to fit all of these guys in and allow them to play. It doesn't really make for the most appealing game. You know what I'm saying? But as somebody who does this, I was able to watch all of the Senior Bowl practices. And guess what? Malik Willis was the best quarterback out there. Hands down, by the way. It wasn't even close. Malik Willis was the class of the Senior Bowl. Inclement weather, it didn't matter. He shined. Bring pressure to him, it doesn't matter. He shines. Make every throw, of course. Otherworldly athleticism. The only people who were hitting numbers of these advanced speed numbers that they were coming up with, the only other guys who were hitting numbers that were remotely similar to what he was hitting were wide receivers. That was it. Wide receivers were the only guys who were topping out those types of numbers. And what does that tell me? It tells me he's special. It tells me he's a special talent. But guess what? I've always known he was a special talent. It was me and a few other people early on last year, before the season even started, that said Malik Willis was QB1. So I'm not telling you anything that I don't already know or that you don't already probably know that I believe. I believe he was QB1 last season. Like last year, before the college season started, Malik Willis was my QB1. Throughout the season, he was my QB1. When all of a sudden, all of the great hopes were popping up, he was QB1. He went out here at the Senior Bowl and performed like QB1. So imagine my surprise when I see the results from the Senior Bowl and I look on the ESPN ticker, and down at the bottom of the ESPN ticker, it says, Kenny Pickett has perfect day at Senior Bowl. That's in bold. And then underneath it, Liberty QB Malik Willis goes 2 for 4 for 11 yards, has 54 rush yards. Now, some of you might not understand what that does. What's the play behind that, right? Like some of you may not get why that might be an issue. Some of you may not understand why that might be an issue, and I get it, because you probably don't look at it the same way as people who've been in this world for a long time, dealing with these biases that we deal with on a regular basis. But here's what I will tell you. Kenny Pickett had a perfect day, right? Kenny Pickett went 6 for 6, 89 yards and a touchdown. He threw the ball 6 times. He completed 6 passes. That's great. No issue with that. That's great, right? But when you phrase it as Kenny Pickett had a perfect day, you make it seem as if he was special. He did something special. He completed 6 passes. And what's more important, and any scout or evaluator will tell you, is that the entire week of the Senior Bowl, he looked rather unimpressive. But here's what we got. We got ESPN on the bottom ticker telling us that he had a perfect day. And then making it a point to show that Malik Willis only completed 50% of his 4 passes for 11 yards. Not about what plays were called when he was in, what he was dealing with at the time. None of that. They brought up his rushing numbers. Why did they bring his rushing numbers up? Because if you don't bring his rushing numbers up, then there's no way you can discredit him as a passer. They want to put him in the same category as they tried to put Lamar Jackson. They want to put him in the same category as they put Michael Vick. They want to put him in the same category as they do all of the other minority quarterbacks who have athletic ability above and beyond what a normal quarterback athleticism would be. You know who they didn't do that to? Josh Allen. They didn't do that to Josh Allen. You know who they didn't do that to? Daniel Jones. Two of the more athletic, two of the quarterbacks that happen to be white, who happen to be ultra athletic, they didn't do that to them. They didn't make them athlete quarterbacks. They let them be quarterbacks. And they treated their growth and development as such. But with Malik Willis, let's try to make him seem as if he's a runner first. But we'll paint Kenny Pickett as perfect. And then, if not to, add insult to injury or injury to insult, however you like to say it, we started getting reports that Kenny Pickett was phenomenal in the interviews all week. What? So now interviews matter more than on-field performance. Remember, there are a lot of people that don't even play in the Senior Bowl game. So Kenny Pickett looked all week at quarterback, comes out in a game where not everybody's playing and people are trying not to get hurt, goes 6 for 6, 89 yards and a touchdown. He had a perfect day, and he killed it in the interviews. Well, what does that ring to the people who are watching, to you guys who are listening, to you guys who are looking for the information? Because you don't have the video to watch all of the Senior Bowl practices. You weren't at Mobile to watch as the Senior Bowl practices unfolded. You didn't see the magic and the buzz around everybody when it came to Malik Willis. What do you think? You think Kenny Pickett QB1. Because media shapes narratives. It is our job to give you the information, and because we are entrusted to give you information, you believe it true. So when the worldwide leader, when the top of the food chain tells you this person was perfect, and then one of the people who works for that entity says, hey, that person killed it in the interviews, you take one, you put the other together, boom, QB1. Meanwhile, you think, oh, well, Malik Willis has to work on his passing. Never mind the fact that he was phenomenal all week. I mean, rain, cold, doesn't matter. Defense, doesn't matter. All week, phenomenal. And yet, the narrative that comes out of there is when it makes you believe that he's not QB1. I can't make these things up. This is how it works. It's a deep water, though, because that's not the big deal. The big deal or the big news is that Mike McDaniels, the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers has been, or is rumored to be, hired as the new Dolphins head coach. That's not news. There have been white guys getting jobs left and right this cycle, even amongst all of these issues with minority. The news was that they are calling Mike McDaniel's hire a minority hire. They're calling it a minority hire. Now, here's the thing, because there have been reports on Twitter, and I think that there was an interview one place where McDaniel alluded to being biracial, where he alluded to being biracial. He said that he was biracial. His father was black. I've heard, I follow some people who have talked about his, who have said that he's mentioned the fact that his father was black in previous interviews lately. I'm assuming there is no reason to believe he's lying. So I'm not here to tell you that Mike McDaniels is lying. I'm not here to tell you that Mike McDaniel isn't biracial. I'm not here to tell you that Mike McDaniel is not black. I'm here to tell you that up until this cycle, up until the last few days, I had no clue that Mike McDaniel was black, that he was biracial, that he had a father who was black. I had no idea. And to put it in further perspective, nobody that I know in the business knew that Mike McDaniel was black. But wait, there's more. When I went to do a Google search on Mike McDaniel, I can't find a name and or a picture of his father. Now, does that mean he's not black? Nope. It's just adding context. So then I went and looked at Mike McDaniel, because for as much as we like to say, oh, we're all the same, we're not all the same. There are features that are just more inherently black, that just tend to, features that tend to be accentuated when you're talking about black people, especially black men. And you would not be able to get beyond those features if you were biracial. Like, they are dominant features. They pop out. I have a biracial son. My son is as light skin can be. But he has features that tell you 100% that's a black man. He lives in a place surrounded by white people. It is no doubt that that is a black man, because there are certain features that black men have that just let you know, you look at him. When I look at Mike McDaniel, I don't see any of those features. Every feature that I see on the profile picture of Mike McDaniel, none of them tell me that's a black man. With all of the outrage, with all of the issues going on in this climate about the treatment of black people, especially black coaches, not once has anyone said Mike McDaniel, as a black man, deserves the opportunity to be a head coach? Not one person, when naming black men in the media who has known that this man was black, supposedly, because now all these people are saying they did, not one member of the media, when listing all of the qualified black assistant coaches and coordinators, none of them, not one of them, put Mike McDaniel down on the list. So we all missed it? None of us were on it. Nobody ever corrected us when we said, when we named all of these black people. Nobody said, hey, don't forget about Mike McDaniel. Nobody took the time to figure out that Mike McDaniel, or to make sure that Mike McDaniel was being put in the list. I'm not telling you that Mike McDaniel is not a black man. I'm telling you I'm shocked that he is. And I'm telling you that he owes us more now. Don't just go back to being the guy who nobody knows is a black man. We're going to need you to stand in that. We're going to need you to stand in that blackness. Don't just use it when it's time to get your former team some extra draft picks because they cultivated because they cultivated a minority hire. Don't just use it to be able to fill a quota. Stand in it. When you put your staff together, Mike McDaniel, we better see brothers galore on that staff. Bring your people up. We want you talking about the issues with race and minority hires at coaches. We want you to talk about the fact that you're lucky that you were able to break through all of the oppression that you found as a minority coach. We want you to speak to the fact that this is difficult out here for black men to be able to be respected in this world as geniuses, as intellectuals. So the fact that these people are looking at you as a black man now and saying that you are a genius, that you are an offensive innovator, we need you to stand up and hold the mantle for us. We need you to ride for us. We need you to support us. We need you to boost us up. Don't just use the culture when it's convenient for you and shun it all the other times. You know the thing I respect about Tiki Barber? Tiki Barber doesn't even try to act as if he's trying to be a part of the culture. Nope. He's not trying to vulture the culture. He ain't trying to just cherry pick the black stuff that people love while disrespecting the black stuff that people don't like. He has just totally said, no. I'm with them over there. And I appreciate that because that is just coming out and being who you are. So Mike McDaniels, you're a black man. If you're a black man, we're going to need you to stand up. We're going to need you to stand up and ride for us. We need you, my guy. Come on home. I don't even need to see pictures of your father. I'm going to take you for your word. I don't even need to know your father's last name or your father's first name. I'm going to take you for your word. You're telling us you're a black man, cool. You want to have these problems, cool. Now I need you to stand in these fires because you've been riding without these fires for a long time. This isn't over. I know more. It's all I'm willing to really say about it right now. But I will, trust me. The spice is not over. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. We do this thing Monday through Friday. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Until next time, peace.